90% of dog owners believe they're doing everything right, but the truth is far from it. A small piece of cake, a chicken bone, or even a spoonful of milk may seem harmless, yet they can act like silent poisons, quietly shortening the life of the dog you love most. Imagine this: each day you think you're bringing them a little joy, but in reality, you could be planting the seeds of illness in their small body. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, hundreds of thousands of dogs are rushed to emergency care each year due to feeding mistakes their owners never realized were harmful. So here's the real question: are you sure you're not part of that 90%? Can you confidently say that everything you feed your dog is safe and healthy? In this video, we'll expose the 10 most common mistakes people make when feeding their dogs, mistakes that can silently take years off their life. You'll recognize habits that seem harmless, but in reality are like ticking time bombs inside their body. And watch out for mistake number 7, something most people still believe is healthy, but it's actually one of the biggest hidden enemies of adult dogs. Stay with us until the end, not just to protect your dog, but to understand that love alone isn't enough. Love must come with the right knowledge. Mistake number 1. Bones as food. Remember the happy image of a dog gnawing on a bone from cartoons or comic books? We grew up believing bones and dogs were the perfect pair. But here's the harsh truth: bones are not food. They're a hidden danger. A grilled chicken bone or a pork rib might look harmless, but they're brittle like glass. When they break, the sharp fragments don't just scratch the gums or get stuck in the throat, they can puncture the stomach or even tear through the intestines. Veterinarians across the U.S. report performing surgeries every week on dogs with ruptured intestines from eating bones. The pain is so severe that some dogs, though saved, are left too afraid to eat again. But the real heartbreak isn't just physical. Imagine your dog full of trust and joy after receiving a treat from you, only to end up on an operating table hours later fighting for its life. All because of a habit we've long assumed was natural. Instead, replace bones with safer alternatives: certified chew toys, vet-approved edible dental chews, or durable rubber toys designed for dogs. Don't let love become the reason they suffer. Have you ever given your dog a bone? Did anything go wrong? Share your story to help others become more aware. But bones aren't the only mistake. The next one is even more common: a small action at dinner that could be slowly damaging your dog's health without you even knowing. Section 2. Feeding. Table scraps, a sweet trap. It's a familiar scene: you're having dinner and your dog is sitting under the table, eyes gleaming, head slightly tilted, and your heart melts. So a piece of meat or a bit of bread quietly slides down to the floor. Adorable, right? But that's the sweet little trap. To a dog's body, our leftovers are like pouring sand into an engine. Onions, garlic, spices, grease, salt. The very things that make our meals delicious can be toxic to their delicate digestive systems. Veterinary studies show that even small amounts of onion or garlic can destroy red blood cells and cause anemia. And salt. Just a light sprinkle for us might overwhelm their kidneys and heart. Worse, those tiny gifts teach your dog a dangerous habit. All they need to do is stare, whine, or bark, and food appears. Before long, dinner turns into chaos, and your dog starts skipping their actual meals, waiting instead for treats from your plate. The result? Nutrient deficiencies, pancreatitis, obesity, all from a few seconds of giving in. Think about it. You're giving a moment of joy, but potentially taking years off their life. Is that really love? Are you feeding your dog from the table? Try stopping for just 1 week and watch. Do they start enjoying their proper meals more? And if table scraps can teach bad habits, the next thing might be even worse: the so-called treats we lovingly give, but when overdone become a heavy burden that quietly shortens their lifespan. Section 3. Too many treats, when love turns into a life sentence. A tiny treat, a delicious little snack, it seems harmless enough. We often think just one won't hurt. But the truth is, those just one moments repeated day after day slowly build an invisible chain around your dog's health. Every time you see those sparkling eyes, a paw gently placed on your knee, or that sweet head tilt, your heart melts. One treat, then another. Before you know it, those small rewards stack up into a wall of calories. And that wall becomes a prison: obesity. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, APOP, more than 55% of dogs in the US are overweight or obese. The consequences. We're not talking hypotheticals here: joints under pressure, hearts working. Over time, lungs compress, diabetes, risk skyrocketing. One study even found that overweight dogs may live nearly 2 years shorter than healthy ones. 2 years. That's hundreds of walks, thousands of cuddles, and countless memories lost. The saddest part? Dogs don't know why. They just feel heavy, short of breath, sore, but don't understand what went wrong. Meanwhile, you still remember the joy on their face as they accepted that little biscuit from your hand. Are you being too generous with treats? Try counting how many your dog gets in a single day. Does the number surprise you? And if treats are silently cutting time from their lives, the next mistake is just as dangerous: eyeballing portions instead of using a measuring cup. You think you're feeding the right amount, but even a small miscalculation could cost them years. Mistake number 4: wrong portion. Sizes. A full bowl of food often gives us a sense of comfort, like the more they eat, the more we love them. But the harsh truth is too much or too little food is a burden on your dog's body. Imagine adding just one extra scoop each day, thinking a little more food means better health. But for dogs, even small repeated miscalculations can lead to obesity, diabetes, or heart disease. On the flip side, underfeeding can silently weaken their immune system, make their bones brittle, and leave their once energetic body dull and sluggish. A long-term study from the Purina Pet Health Center found that dogs fed 25% less than a full bowl lived nearly 2 years longer than their siblings who were overfed. That's 2 extra years of life from just one measuring cup. The problem? Most owners still eyeball portions or give in to those pleading puppy eyes, forgetting that more food doesn't mean more love. Ironically, this visual version of love can actually cost your dog years of their life. Are you measuring your dog's food accurately, or just pouring until the bowl looks full? And if poor portioning can throw off your dog's physical balance, the next mistake is even more dangerous: feeding only once a day. A cycle of overstuffing and energy crashes. Mistake. Number 5. Feeding once a day. Many owners believe feeding one big meal a day is efficient and scientific, but in reality, it's one of the riskiest habits. You're turning your dog's stomach into an overinflated balloon, followed by hours of emptiness. Imagine eating an enormous buffet meal, your belly uncomfortably full, and then having to power through an entire day with no more food. That's exactly what your dog experiences with a once-a-day feeding routine. Studies show that dogs fed once a day have a significantly higher risk of gastric dilatation volvulus (GDV), a life-threatening emergency where the stomach twists and can cause death within hours. Not only that, but active breeds or puppies are especially prone to blood sugar crashes, leading to shakiness, fatigue, or even fainting. A huge meal also forces the liver, pancreas, and digestive system to work overtime for a few hours, then sit idle the rest of the day. This imbalance doesn't just cause discomfort, it can disrupt the dog's natural biological rhythm in the long run. Veterinarians recommend 2 meals per day for adult dogs and 3 to 4 for puppies or senior dogs. The goal isn't to stuff them full, but to feed them steadily and in healthy intervals. Have you ever tried switching from 1 meal to 2? You'll likely notice your dog becoming more energetic, healthier, and genuinely happier. But if one massive meal is a visible risk, the next mistake is deceptively sweet, treats like cakes and candy that seem like acts of love, but maybe sugary death traps. Section 6. Giving sweets and pastries, a sweet treat or a silent threat. A cookie, a piece of cake, even a tiny cupcake. It's easy to think, just a bite won't hurt. But for dogs, sugar isn't a treat. It's a sweet poison. A dog's body isn't built to handle refined sugar. When they eat sweets, it forces their pancreas to overwork, causes blood sugar spikes, and over time can lead to diabetes, pancreatitis, and obesity. On top of that, sugar damages their teeth. Veterinary research shows that dogs fed sugary pastries often suffer from gum disease, tooth decay, and oral infections, which can also impact their heart and kidneys. Even worse, many baked goods and candies contain chocolate raisins or macadamia nuts, all of which are highly toxic to dogs. Even a tiny bite can lead to vomiting, tremors, kidney failure, or even death. Each year, pet poison control centers in the U.S. handle thousands of emergency cases caused by nothing more than a seemingly harmless cookie. The tragic twist: dogs love the taste of sweets. They'll wag their tails, jump with excitement, eagerly accept the treat while you smile thinking you've just made them happy. But a few hours later, the cost could be an upset stomach, vomiting, or even a late-night emergency vet visit. Have you ever secretly given your dog a bite of cake because of their pleading eyes? Maybe it's time to replace that gift with a dog-friendly treat, something just as tasty but safe. And if sugar quietly wrecks their health from the inside, the next mistake involves something we often overlook: ignoring your dog's natural rhythm and failing to adjust food portions to their weight and activity level. Section 7. Ignoring weight and activity. One diet doesn't fit all. Picture this: a husky runs 5 miles every morning with its owner, while a chihuahua spends most of the day curled up on the couch. Yet both are given the same amount of food. Sounds off, right? This is one of the most common mistakes dog owners make: feeding without considering actual weight and activity levels. Every dog has a different metabolic fire. An active dog needs more fuel to stay strong and energized. A sedentary one, much less. When you ignore this, problems arise fast. One dog ends up overweight, its joints creaking with every step. The other becomes underweight, tired, and more prone to illness. Global veterinary organizations like WSAVA stress that feeding should be based on a dog's age, weight, and activity level. Research from the Journal of Nutritional Science even shows that low-activity dogs may need up to 30% fewer calories than active ones. Yet many owners still stick to the idea of one portion fits all. The saddest part: dogs don't get to choose. They can't adjust their own meals. It all depends on you, and if you overlook this, their little bodies will suffer in silence. Have you ever asked yourself, is this portion really right for my dog's lifestyle? And if ignoring physical activity already throws their body off balance, the next mistake is even more surprising. It involves something we often see as natural and healthy, but for adult dogs, it's often a digestive nightmare: milk. Mistake number 8. Milk for adult dogs. To us, milk symbolizes comfort and nourishment, warm, creamy, and full of childhood memories. So many dog owners assume giving milk to their dogs is a loving gesture. But the truth is quite the opposite. For adult dogs, milk is not a treat, it's a digestive burden. After weaning, most dogs lose the enzyme lactase, which is needed to digest lactose, the sugar in milk. So when you give your adult dog a bowl of milk, that lactose often ferments in the gut instead of being broken down. The result? Gas, bloating, stomach pain, and diarrhea. Some dogs experience severe discomfort from just a few sips. Studies published in the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association confirm that most adult dogs are lactose intolerant. Regularly giving them milk doesn't help them adjust. It only causes repeated damage to their gut, leading to chronic inflammation and a weakened immune system. The saddest part? Dogs are still excited when they see a bowl of milk. They don't know that the short burst of joy could lead to a night of pain. And we, believing we're being caring, may be unknowingly causing them suffering. Are you giving your adult dog milk? If so, try switching to dog-specific milk alternatives. They still feel like a treat, but without the harm. And if milk wreaks havoc on the gut, the next mistake might be even more dangerous: ignoring professional advice in favor of old myths and online hearsay. Mistake are 9. Ignoring vet advice. Have you ever heard someone say, "I've raised dogs for decades. I don't need a vet telling me what to do"? This is one of the most dangerous mistakes: ignoring veterinary advice. Sure, you know your dog's personality best. You know what they like, what they fear when they're happy or sad. But there's one thing you can't see on your own: the silent changes happening inside their body. Veterinarians don't just rely on instincts. They read your dog's internal health through tests, clinical signs, and experience treating thousands of cases. A survey published in the Journal of Small Animal Practice revealed that nearly 40% of dog owners admitted they don't follow their vet's dietary recommendations, choosing instead to listen to friends' online forums or their own gut feeling. The result? Much higher rates of obesity, kidney disease, and digestive issues among dogs raised on homemade methods. The scary part is that illnesses often don't arrive with a bang. They come like a breeze: duller fur, slower steps, or a dog that tires more easily. Many mistake these as signs of aging, but often they're symptoms of ignored professional guidance. Loving your dog doesn't mean trusting your instincts more than science. True love means working with your vet to turn your care into something smart, safe, and life-giving. Have you ever ignored your vet's advice thinking it's probably fine? Maybe now's the time to rethink. Because when expert advice is ignored, another mistake usually follows: feeding your dog children's food, something that sounds wholesome but may be a recipe for disaster. Mistake 10. Feeding kids food. Many owners think, if it's safe for a child, it must be okay for my dog. But that's a dangerous assumption. Children's food often contains high levels of starch, sugar, salt, or dairy ingredients. Dogs aren't built to handle. They can trigger digestive issues, obesity, diabetes, and long-term nutrient deficiencies like lack of essential amino acids or healthy fats. Even seemingly harmless items like mashed potatoes or pasta aren't appropriate. Feeding dogs during your child's mealtime can also cause behavioral problems. Dogs may begin begging at the table or competing with the child for food, creating safety risks for both your pet and your kids. Have you ever let your dog share your child's plate? Remember, what nourishes a child might not nourish a dog. As you've seen, love alone isn't enough. A piece of cake, a bone, or a bowl of milk all may come from a place of affection, but they can also act as double-edged swords that shorten your dog's life. By changing just a few daily habits, you're not only giving your dog safer meals, you're giving them more years by your side. More long walks, more cozy evenings at your feet, more tail wags of trust and joy, all starting with smart, intentional choices in their food bowl. So tonight, as you look into your dog's trusting eyes, tell yourself, I can do better. I won't let my love become a mistake. If this video opened your eyes or your heart, leave a comment below. Which of these mistakes surprised you the most? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one.